On Wednesday, ahead of President Joe Biden's European trip to meet with NATO allies to discuss possible new sanctions and other efforts to hamper the Russian military in Ukraine, the Russian government warned that if NATO were to send soldiers from any of its member states to serve as peacekeeper in the war-torn country, then it would be an extremely dangerous decision and lead to direct clash between Russia and NATO. The comments were in direct response to a Polish proposal calling for NATO or another international group to send in soldiers to serve in a peacekeeping capacity. Reuters reported last week in Kyiv, Ukraine, Poland's ruling party leader Yaroslaw Kaczynski said, "I think that it's necessary to have a peace mission, NATO, or possibly some wider international structure, but a mission that will be able to defend itself, which will operate on Ukrainian territory." In response, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov told staff and students at the Moscow State Institute of International Relations on Wednesday that such an idea would lead to, and I quote, "the direct clash between the Russian and NATO armed forces that everyone has not only tried to avoid, but said should not take place in principle." Reuters also reported that Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov blasted the proposal, saying it would be a very reckless and extremely dangerous decision. Reuters added, he told reporters on a conference call that any possible contact between Russian and NATO forces could have clear consequences that would be hard to repair. The Wall Street Journal also reported that a wave of new sanctions and tactics to pressure China could come out of the NATO meetings this week. The Biden administration is preparing new sanctions on most members of Russia's State Duma, the lower house of parliament, according to US officials. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said, President Biden will use his meetings in Brussels this week to keep up pressure on China to not provide aid to Russia. At the meetings, the US and allies are also expected to announce further sanctions against Russia. Despite the continued heavy attacks by Russia, the journal also added that the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres indicated that diplomatic efforts were starting to gain traction. In terms of other de-escalation efforts, on Tuesday, the Daily Wire reported that Russia stated that the country would use nuclear weapons if the country's existence was threatened. Peskov said, "We have a concept of domestic security and it's public. You can read all the reasons for nuclear arms to be used. So if it's an existential threat to our country, then it can be used in accordance with our concept." Thursday, March 24th, will mark 1 month since Russia invaded Ukraine. Would like to know your thoughts and responses. Share them in the comments down below, and also share this news and support us through subscribing to our channel. Thanks for watching.